is Ariana Clay, and I will be discussing U.S. immigration. In today's society, we are consistently debating and arguing about immigration policies in the U.S. What citizens forget to remember is that history is the history of the United States. In other words, the United States would not be here today without U.S. immigration because our founding fathers themselves immigrated here. I have just dedicated hours of my time to research the history of immigration in the U.S. as well as their importance in our economy and culture. Not only of the academic aspects, but also the personal ones. My father is from Central America and received papers because he was adopted by U.S. citizens back in the 1970s. And then my mom's side of the family was Irish and immigrated here around the early 1900s. In the U.S., immigration and immigrants are what made this country and its foundation. I will first be discussing the U.S. history and the foundation upon immigration and what was built by immigrants. And then I will be explaining why immigration is not a bad thing and that immigrants themselves are not dangerous. Lastly, I will also be breaking down how they actually benefit and boost the country as a whole. I will start out with the origins of the U.S. and its complex history. In the United States, its Constitution was founded by immigrants and built by them as well. According to the Library of Congress, the European colonization and settlement of North America and the so-called New World was an invasion of territory controlled and settled for centuries by Native Americans. This shows that the European people stole native land and were actually the first people to migrate to the U.S. Julia Gillett highlights that immigrants were involved in the development of 30% of industries in recent years and more than 40% of Fortune 500 companies that were founded by immigrants. Ultimately, the United States' historical upbringing and society was based on immigrants. Furthermore, throughout history, the anti-immigrant sentiment and false narratives that immigrants are criminals are taking away citizens' opportunities, when in reality they are actually less likely to commit a crime than native-born citizens. Elaborated by the NPR as a group of immigrants have had lower incarceration rates than the U.S.-born citizens for over 100 years. The U.S. citizens consistently mistake and think all immigrants are stealing jobs from the U.S. citizens, when in reality they are working jobs like construction and agricultural jobs like farming, as well as service occupations, etc., which are jobs the U.S. citizens need and the society needs as well. In the long run, we need to appreciate what we have as a country and the truth in our country, especially giving more respect to the hardworking people that invest in our country. Continuing, immigration has benefited the country both economically as well as culturally. Immigrations boost overall economic growth and by expanding labor force and increasing consumer spending, stated by Julia Glenn. The U.S. culture is the mix of other countries' cultural aspects like religion, language, celebrations, food, etc. For example, the Black Hawk College has diverse population of students that came from all backgrounds, like the girls' soccer team. We have girls from Scotland, England, Tucson, etc. In the end, immigration is more intertwined with the history, both economically and culturally, than the people realize. Overall, immigration is the backbone of the U.S. history, and this country would not be where it is without it. That is due to the U.S. being invaded by European immigrants and built off their policies. They also did not deserve the hate and false criminal allegations when they help this economy grow financially as well as culturally. At the beginning of this conversation, we discussed my personal background of immigration in the US. My background is not only just a story, but the story of this country, as well as everyone else in my situation. When we look at evidence that the immigration and immigrants themselves commit fewer crimes and are critical to this economy, the debate isn't really about policy, it's about choice. Thank you.